my name is Valdivia. I'm 30 years old. I do run a printing company. As you guys can see, that's part of my work. So when Jeremy asked me to come and do this, I really didn't have an idea what I was going to do. I was thinking different topics, different things. I heard Peter. I was like, I think we're in the same mindset probably, because I'm going to say something similar along his lines. So myself, I've been doing printing for the past 6 years. I came across doing it by luck, more than anything because I was helping other people. They were asking me because I had a certain skills in mind. I graduated with a communications degree, so it was nowhere near graphics or printing, but I just learned it on my own because it was a passion I chased. Did I thought I was going to make some money? Not really. Before I was 18, no, by the time I was 18, when I graduated high school, I literally had no ambition, no dreams, no goals. The only three things I wanted was I wanted to go to college right away, I loved women, and I needed to make money so I can dress well. Three things I wanted to do. But never really did I have a will or a drive to go out there and say, man, I need to make something better for myself. The only thing I did want to do was get a college degree, because my parents, as I was brought up, they gave me everything I needed, but not everything I wanted. Can you guys relate to that? It's like, I wanted the Nikes, but I got the Filas, You guys get me? So as I was growing, my parents continuously kept asking me, hey, follow your education, get a degree, get a job, get a career, so then you can raise your family and everything. So I tried to do that. And as I was going through college, I realized that it wasn't really for me. I was lucky because I really wanted to get a degree from my parents, but I got kicked out 3 times of college before I actually achieved it. Technically, you're only supposed to get kicked out twice, because the third time, you automatically get disqualified to continue in that college. But somehow, I was thankful that my college wasn't as organized as they should. So they gave me a stamp before they actually inserted into a stamp of readmission before they actually inserted into the system. When I came back and I told them, I'm here to pick my classes, they said, I'm sorry, but you've been disqualified from school. And I said, it's not true. I got a stamp. So they told me to go find the stamp, and if I can show proof, they'll be able to give it to me. I looked through my whole room. I found it. It was all crumbled up in a corner somewhere, but I found it. I came back, and I took school serious, and I graduated with from that point on till I graduated, my GPA was really good. I graduated. I went on, and between 18 and 26, while I was graduating, I still was searching for myself. I came across a few friends who introduced me to a way of making money, and it wasn't really the method, but it was what I liked about it. It was what woke up in me. It was something that arose, like a need, like a feeling of desire to do something better for myself that I never felt before. And it was after I saw a picture like this. It wasn't really this picture, but it was really similar. What it was is that I wanted to work somewhere where I can enjoy life and still be making money. Now, to me, this picture is very meaningful because I've always wanted to have something similar to that, but I couldn't find the right position for me. So what I went out there and did is I went through several jobs, constantly kept getting fired, and what I realized that I was unemployable, meaning that even though I got the job, it just wasn't for me. So what I decided to do is that I wanted to go out there and try to do my own thing. But every time I kept trying and trying, just like Peter said, chasing my dream, I felt like I kept getting further and further for some reason. It kept getting more in debt. I kept getting, spending money where I shouldn't be, thinking that I was making an investment. It felt more like it was an actual a liability. Now, I came across several mentors, and what I summed it up together of what I believe I learned from them was there's no such thing as an overnight $1 million idea. I kept thinking I was going to find that one idea that was going to make me $1 million and become rich. Never happened. And I don't believe it exists. And he told me, you are not special. Not in those exact words, but very similar. And then, of course, it went further into further detail. But what I came to realize about the $1 million idea was that nothing worth having comes easy. Meaning that a lot of times we have to go out there and really fight for it. And sometimes we end up looking in the mirror and we question ourselves. Is this really something I want? And sometimes you even question, like, maybe not. You break yourself down. Like, it's a mental game, I've realized. But as you proceed and you continue doing it, you start realizing that it's more about a will and who you're becoming as you proceed and chase this dream. And the reason why I felt that this mentor of mine told me you're not special is because he told me that before you become special, you need to have a need. You need to have a desire, a reason, a why, an ambition, or some type of a dream that can give you that can keep you on the edge from becoming better. I'm sure a lot of us have sit there and they're like, maybe a bill. You're like, do I really need to pay this? Do I really need to pay child support? Do I need to, buy the diapers? Do I really need to continue paying my cell phone bill? And then you start thinking, you're like, yeah, maybe I do. I need to continue, picking up the phone. What if my mom calls me? What if my dad calls me? My kid probably needs to continue pooping, so I need to probably keep him clean, If not, he gets a disease. Do I need to pay child support? Whatever the case is. Hey, my kid needs drumming lessons or needs to go learn a new career or maybe painting. Well, whatever the case is, you need a reason to be able to keep going. Occupation. He told me that I was all over the place. My mind was I wanted to do one thing, but at the same time I was doing something else, and I was involved in too many things. He says, while you do good things on many things, you don't have a main focus. That was one thing that he said, you need a focus. You might have a why, but if you're all over the place, think about it like a light bulb. One light bulb can dim light across the whole room, but if you point a laser out, its main focus, it can possibly, depending on the laser, it can actually penetrate or go through certain objects. So you need an actual occupation, something you're good at. Just like Peter said, you're following your dream, you have to figure out, we all have something we're good at or we love. And something that we have a hobby, they're like, hey, you know what, I'm good at art. Or hey, I'm good at playing soccer, I'm good at playing drums, I'm good at whatever the case is. I'm good at talking on the phone. I don't know. What my mentor told me is, now that you found something you're good at, you have to really be honest with yourself and figure out, can you make money from this? Because for me, as you can see, I'm kind of driven by financial. So he says, if you really want to chase money, you got to figure out, now that you found something you're good at, you have to really understand, can you make money from this? And if you can't, find out why not. So I did research, I did things. I was always passionate about computers. So along the way, I've learned how to do coding. So I coded my own website. I learned how to do graphic design. I never took any classes. I learned it on my own, all through YouTube and other means and matters of reading books. So I realized that what I wanted to do was find a way of how to express my desire for art, or my desire to do something that I can help others. And another thing he said is you have to have time, and you have to be teachable. Time meaning that there's no such thing as an overnight success. And if you ever read on Wikipedia or any overnight success story, we only read the surface of whatever we see. Oh, from this point on, they became successful. There was this big story about them. But what sometimes we don't read or care to actually proceed to understand is that before that overnight success, there was a lot of nights and days of crying, of hard work, being in the sun, going out there. And that sometimes we oversee, especially for the young community, that we believe that we could make them something overnight, but we have to understand there's always hard work needed. And teachable. I learned something today, even from the first speaker. So many things. You always have to be understanding. I love what he said about every step forward is where you arrive. I think that's the quote he said from Paulo Coelho. I'm a big fan of Paulo Coelho. That actually is very powerful, because what I mean by teachable is like every day you wake up, my goal is to always learn something new or even refresh my memory, because we'll always have to be able to be open to learn something, because the more you learn, the more you're actually able to possibly get lucky and stumble into another opportunity or talk to someone that can trigger something in you of chasing another dream or another, or possibly fulfilling your ambition to do something. This is a quote that I once read. It said, luck comes to the most prepared, hardest working, and active people. Meaning that while there is such thing as luck, the people who I believe get lucky are the ones who always align themselves with things. They go out there, they're always constantly active. Even the people who play the lottery. It It takes time. You have to go out there and pay your dollars, put your numbers in. They're in anything. They're being prepared. They're working more than people like, oh, they got lucky. They're paying their dollars. They're paying the Powerball, whatever the case is. But even them, they're actually putting in more work than some of us from actually consistently paying that once a year or something. The other day I went to go do that. My girlfriends are like, hey, oh, my lucky numbers came out in my cookie. So she was eating Chinese food, so we got her lucky cookie open. He's like, I have to go play my numbers. So we go played it, but even then, she only does it like once every so often. But imagine, the more often you try, what happens? The higher probabilities you have, right? So when I read this, I was like, well, it makes sense. You do have to be prepared. You have to go out there and always be aligned with what your dream is. Hard is working. Make sure that whoever you see, that whoever you want, what I mean by hard is working is, you see someone that you want to be like within your means of chasing a dream, do it. Align yourself, see what they're doing, try to mimic it, replicate it, because I believe that we learn from previous success and then we modify it to be our own. And active people, just go out there and do something. So that's pretty much what I came here to share. For example, for me, my business was very consistent for the first 3 years until I became more active with it. About 3 years ago, I noticed that my business has grown exponentially to a point where I'm very comfortable now, in a sense that if it wasn't for the fact that I was working very, very hard late at night, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing or doing things. I'm not saying that I make a lot of money, but I'm more comfortable than I was 3 years ago. And I definitely don't have a job. I haven't had a consistent job for more than 6 months. I've been doing a bit of experimenting and exploring around the world as well. And it's all thanks to the fact that I wanted to do something very hard for myself after I graduated from college. And yeah, I believe that we all could do that. And it's just a matter of aligning yourself with what you really want to do. Thank you, guys.
Hey, Jeremy Lejeune here. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors that helped this event happen. Feel free to check them out all over here. Also, all the speeches are posted on our YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out as well.